Magic is everywhere. Magic surrounds us. It's everywhere where we look. You don't have to look further than just this simple tree, or maybe just even in your bedroom, or maybe in your house. Magic and energies are everywhere. That is why I don't understand all of these religions that always try to search something of magic inside of a building. Actually, when you go outside and you see all of nature, this is the magic that you need. And that is where the dragon is always based on the magic of outside. That is why my mentor said the dragon loves to be outside, because there is a lot of energy, much more energy outside than inside. Of course, you can create your energy once you make your dragon altar. And I recommend this very much, my brothers and sisters, to have an altar inside of your house dedicated to the dragon, to have a bit of the outside inside. And so the energies are everywhere where we look. So we are also very much connected to one of these most elements, but not just simply the elements of one of these energies. For example, my dragon, I came to know my dragon very much, is actually a forest dragon. And that is why I was so much drawn to the forest. Not simply my dragon alone, but also my dragon goddess, and also myself. The energy that lives inside of you has a story to tell, a large story actually. And your dragon can see them all. So your dragon can read your story without even asking what your story actually is. Your dragon knows you from the moment that they are arriving, touching you wherever you should be touched, to awaken you. So in this story that you can see, your own story, this is your story. Your story begins with a story that already has been told, but your story continues, and that is where the Ouroboros is. The dragon bites its own tail all the time. But you have to find out actually what your energy is about, where you are drawn to. There are things that you are drawn to very much than the other. For example, I was also drawn to fire. For example, I love candles. So out of these candles, I came to understand much more about the dragon. But the strongest one of all is, of course, the earth itself. And when I say that all of my trinity, all my trinity dragons are all the same and connected to the earth, that is because my guardian by my side is a forest dragon. I myself also have the energy and spirit of a dragon that used to be in the forest. And of course Tiamat, goddess of the earth, goddess of water, goddess of what creates life. Of course, in everything that I see and feel is Tiamat. And that is why I hold meditations here to connect with Tiamat. I want to connect with my holy, you can say, draconic trinity. And that is what we all have. The dragon eye that you are born with is actually a symbol of the draconic trinity. It shows 3 points, and every side of every point is actually one of you. You, the spirit, your guardian, and your god. This can be every god. This can be every guardian. I mean, there are so many dragons, so many of them, that moved heaven and earth to be with us. But the trick is, you have been living here as a human among humans. No one actually told you that this was a thing. But if I tell you, my brothers and sisters, dragons are real, dragons are just by your side, you just need to accept it and accept them. You open the door with this. You open the gate with this. And once you do, you can try to understand where your spirit comes from. Because your dragons will tell a story that you will never know about if you don't open the gate. So my dragon, for example, still tells the story of my own spirit. Stories that I don't know about. Stories that I forgot. Stories that death erased. So I was born here with a mind that was erased. And that is also what happens to you, my brothers and sisters. You have born here, but once you were born with a dragon by your side. A dragon ever since you were born. Even before you were born, they knew when you were arriving. But the moment was there as well to give energy to them and to become a dragon witch. Because your desire for the dragon, you feel them so much. I know you feel them very well. I know, but just forget about humans. Forget about the world. Where are you drawn to? Are you drawn to fire? Are you drawn to nature? Are you drawn to the animals? Are you drawn to all of this? So you can tell your own story that you eventually can tell yourself. But there is a greater one, a storyteller, that can tell a bit of you. Your dragon by your side, but also your god or goddess can also tell a story that you don't know about. Out of this trinity, you are the dragon spirit that actually is the one that needs to be cared of. You are, you can say, a dragon baby, or you can say a human baby with a dragon spirit. You are learning all the time, always searching for what is reality. Your dragon is the greatest storyteller to tell you eventually what happened to you before this all happened. So after 18 years old, the story that my dragon said is still continuous. It still goes on. I still learn new things every single day. That is why it's a path. That is why the path of the dragon is a journey. You learn of this all the time. You learn all the way. So it's not about, when you are interested to be a dragon witch. I was actually never interested to be a dragon witch. But eventually my dragon has told me the story. My dragon showed himself, told me the story. And I just needed to understand who I actually was, because my dragon was always talking about who I actually was. Even though I shame myself for my face, but for the dragon, you should not. You should never be ashamed of who you are. You should actually be proud of opening the gate for your dragon. You had the power. Death was not strong enough to erase you. Death of the dragon was not strong enough. The dragon still lives on inside of you, inside of your trinity, and your angels by your side that used to live just the same as you. But you need to be taught. You need to learn as well, just like a child, just like in the beginning when the dragon is just a baby, just like you are just a child. In the eyes maybe of the dragon, but sometimes they need to tell you a story that you never learned of. Sometimes we have dreams about this, and sometimes our dragons manipulate our dreams. When they manage to do so, they sometimes want to open up a memory that lives inside of your soul. For many years, I refused to say something like this, that humans have a dragon soul, because I thought that humanity was unworthy. Because that is also what I had. I am an empath, very much an empath, and I created this with connecting with my dragon. An empath is someone who feels, who can put themselves in a different place. For example, you can see through the eyes of others. For example, also, I can see through the eyes of animals. I can see through the suffering that they are always doing, always, and it hurts. My brothers and sisters, that is the most painful part of my path. But the most beautiful one is actually to discover who you actually truly are. Because, no one can tell you who you truly are. In this case, you don't have to look up to Jesus and all of these saints. You are the one actually that has the apparitions. You are the one that actually is connecting to the highest of beings. In this world, I believe that the dragon was the one that walked around. The dragon was here. But until a moment when they all moved away to the dragon realms. And that is something that my dragon has shown me. My dragon showed me the dragon realms, the void, everything that needs to be shown. It was so powerful, my brothers and sisters. The dragon's path is not always about learning from other brothers and sisters. No, it's learning from yourself. Learning from who you are, learning from your dragon. That is why it's so important to understand them. You have to understand the language. You have to understand where they are. And that is why I became a dragon witch, to have them by my side, to have them with me, because I know that your dragon wants the same thing. Your dragon wants to be connected with you. I call them sometimes the angels without a human face. They don't have a human face, but that doesn't make them less angelic. But also, angelic and draconic are the same thing. That is why I say sometimes brothers and sisters say that they have seen an evil dragon. Well, the only closest part to evil dragons is, a dragon from the void that was not truly a dragon. This dragon was actually mimicking the dragon. But in fact, the dragons themselves are the highest beings that I've ever felt and ever came across. These are the beings that said to me to find my story, to find who I am, to find what I am. So, and that is what I say to you, my brothers and sisters. The dragon is very much real and by your side. And the dragon, you have to find your own path in this. And you have to find the energies. Just open up yourself, open up and find the energies that surround you. What gives you the most power? What gives you the most energy? And let the dragon just come to you from this energy, from this energy that comes to you eventually. Because your dragon, you and your dragon god, draw the most energy from one of them. And that is to you, for you to find out which one gives you the most power. For me, example, it's the forest. The forest gives me the most power, the most energy. The energy of the forest is pure life. Also inside of water, for example, after a while I can feel the life just by touching the water. I just felt the energy inside of the ground. I was earth element, and it was fed by water. And earth element was the closest to me. We are all just a balance of all the elements together. Because it's not only the earth. I was also very much drawn to fire, for example. I could feel that fire was much more than it seems. Fire is what keeps us alive. It's the warmth. It's the soul. And that is also what I learned. I learned a lot every single day from what the elements are and what the energies are that gives us the most power. So it's a search. Actually, the dragon's path is a journey.